Making your way down onto your back when you're feeling ready. We're going to first draw our hands towards our waist. From here, inhale deeply and just observe if the tummy expands. Exhale fully out of the mouth. Inhale deeply, observe how the breath fills the body. Exhale out of the mouth. Inhale nose. And this time, as we exhale, we're going to draw the abdominals towards the spine. We're going to hold it there as we inhale. And hopefully we should find that the abdominals stayed pulled back, yet the breath filled the width of the upper body. So the rib cage, the shoulders expanded in width and then retracted back down as you exhaled. Inhale, the upper body expands. We take this deep diaphragmatic breath. Exhale fully. So it's not breathing into the tummy. We keep that cinch down and we breathe into the upper torso. Once we've got that, we're going to exhale, press the pelvis into a very gentle tilt. So the spine begins to connect to the floor more so. You can feel every vertebrae pressing down. You might shine the tailbone away from the ground just a smidge. Inhale. Make sure that you're active through the abdominals as opposed to just sucking back towards the spine. We are also locked down at the rib cage, therefore engaged through the abdominals. Once we've got that, we can lift the heels. You should find a little bit more of a switching on sensation as we lift those heels. Draw the legs into a nice 90-degree bend. Inhale deeply. Exhale, lift one leg up into a perfect tabletop. And then drop that leg back down. Other side, exhale. Lovely, nice. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. So this is a lovely foundational movement, and our main purpose here is to think about that imprint, your two-way imprint. It's really important that we get that correct so that we can then move on to movements like this where we lift both legs and then we drop one leg and we lift. We still have every single vertebrae pressing to the ground and the abdominals drawing towards the spine whilst switched on. So to switch them on, we keep the rib cage tucked down, we keep the tailbone scooped very slightly away from the ground, and we keep the belly button pulled back. The abdominals never switch on in that bulging up way. It's always a drawing back, as if you're sucking in. Well done. From here, arms come up towards the sky. We begin to take our dead bugs. Opposite arm, opposite leg, move in opposing directions. If you are still in option one, then it's opposite arm, opposite leg, move in the same direction, like so. Wherever we are, we're thinking not just about the precision and the control of that moving arm and leg, but we would also like to think about the stability of the stable arm and leg. You can imagine that you're a puppet. You have strings drawing your knee and your fingertips of the non-moving limbs up towards the sky, just to keep them as fixed as possible. Last two. Last one. Beautiful, and hug your legs in. Nice deep breath here. So the next movement that we're going to do is a really nice full powerhouse movement. You're going to be strengthening all the way down to the base of the thighs. We're going to draw our knees wide, heels click together, hands start down by your side, and we have the option to progress together. And if you find the progressions are a bit much, then just stay as you are. Knees come in towards your armpits. Again, double imprint. Extend your legs away as if you're trying to push with your heels something that is at a 45-degree angle away from you. Inhale, come back gently, nice and wide, scoop knees in towards your shoulders. Good. Exhale, press. Beautiful, well done. And inhale to come back. Shoulders are down and away from your ears. Shoulder blades are retracted, rib cage is tucked down, and most importantly, we have our two-way imprint. It's not only going to protect your internal organs, but it's also protecting your back. It protects our internal organs because it makes us less prone to hernias when we're not forcing and bulging the abdominals upwards. We're instead drawing the back in and tucking down. We're keeping them nice and safe. If you'd like to progress, lift your head, neck and chest. The hands are gently brushing by your temples. There is no interlacing of the fingers. There is no scooping of the head. It's a very, very gentle placing behind or in front of the ears. Last two before we add in another progression. At that front part of the movement here, you really want to think about squeezing every muscle in the thighs. Draw the legs back, and this time we exhale forwards, inhale back. Exhale forwards, inhale back. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, good. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Good job. 1. Carry on here for 3 more repetitions, unless it feels a little bit much, in which case take a rest. And drop the head, neck and chest. Draw your legs into a tabletop. We have the option to do this whole movement with the legs down rather than up. Option 1, we lift, we crunch, we come back and we lower. Option 2, we lift, we crunch, we come back and we lower. So I'll go through them again a few times, so if you get stuck throughout, just look over towards me. So option 2, scoop head, neck and chest, crunch armpit over to knee, come back through centre, lower head, neck and chest down. We lift, crunch up and over, come back through centre, lower down, lift, crunch, come back through centre, lower. Option 1, we lift, crunch, back through centre, lower. You'll really start to feel this not only in the obliques, but also the upper abdominals, especially with those lifts and lowers. Hopefully you can feel the lower abdominals working a little bit if you have your legs in this tabletop. Keep the elbows wide. Last 2. Last 1. Good. Well done. Perfect. So, dropping your soles of your feet down, retract shoulder blades, hand comes down by your side, and we flatten the spine. From here, we have 2 options of how we are going to do our bridges. Option 1, slow sequential control. We tuck the tailbone from the ground. We slowly come up. We inhale at the top. We slowly come down. Really, really simple. Option 2, no sequential control, just a scoop, a lift, a lower, and a lower. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. When we're feeling ready, coming onto your side, make sure you have equal distance between each ear and each shoulder, never turning the head side to side. Arms down by your side, retract shoulder blades, inhale, lift the abdominals, and slowly exhale. heel away from the ground. Pelvic floor is lifted, core is lifted. Inhale at the top. Exhale, roll down. Inhale at the bottom. If we're in option 2, it's exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Exhale, lift your bridge. Inhale, lift that leg. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lower. Now, with this second option, the things that you'll probably find the most challenging is the stability element. Often we find that when we lift, we're fine, and as soon as we take that one leg away, you might find a wobble side to side, you might find a dipping down of the hip, or you might find a weight bearing to either left or right. So we're just looking to minimize those things. So we really want to think about the shoulders bearing down, the heels bearing down, and as if the shoulders and heels are pressing in opposite directions. That means that when we take that one leg away, we have this really sturdy foundation to start with. Another thing we'd like to do is keep that abdominal lift. So when we're in a bridge, it can be very easy to neglect that lift in the abdominals because the back body's working so hard. It can be a little bit much to make the front body, the abdominals work as well. But we really need that lift, not only to protect the back, but also to give us this centralizing, to give us this control. So when we have that abdominal lift, and then we lift that leg, we feel automatically much more sturdy than if we were completely relaxed through the abdominals. Just 30% of our maximum is what we need in terms of an abdominal lift. So it doesn't always have to be so intense that you feel like you can't breathe in properly, or you feel like it's distracting because it's so intense. You always want it to be there, but only intense enough that you can allow your focus to come to the movement, you can allow the breath to still fill the body. The more we're breathing, the more we're nourishing the muscles, the less quickly they fatigue. Last one here, scoop up, we lift, we lower, and come down. Well done, very quick stretch, send the arms and legs long. Brilliant, arms come back down by your side, and we're going into our leg circles. So, option 1 will look like this, option 2 will look like this. So option 1 is a bit more intense, option 2 is a bit more gentle. Left leg is going to go in anti-clockwise direction. When we're feeling ready, we exhale, draw that left leg out to the left side of this room, come back round, and then finish the circle by coming over the right knee and then back over that left hip. So it's quite a small circle, about the size of a dinner plate. And what we're looking for here is control. If you'd like to challenge yourself further, send that right leg long, really strengthening through the hip flexors. You'll feel this lovely sensation of stretch and strength here. This is a really nice classic Pilates movement. You really feel that control element, the precision element. A lot of our Pilates principles in this one tiny movement. If it feels too intense, then just draw that right leg into a deeper bend, and you can put the right leg's heel down if you need. Last one on this side. We don't need many of these to really improve that left leg's range of motion. Well done. We lift the right leg, swap sides. Right leg draws clockwise rotations. Exhale. Movements like this really, really help that mind to muscle connection and that overall coordination in general. Especially helpful when we're focusing on things like the legs, because it can help reduce things like trips or falls. We're just that bit more connected to those tiny fine movements. Exhale, inhale, really slowly moving. Strengthening the hip flexors, mobilizing the hip joint, strengthening the quadricep. Last two. Well done. Hug your legs in when you're ready. Good job. So we're coming onto our fronts. We're drawing into a nice tabletop. Shins are down, fingers are spread wide. Soft bend in the elbows. Shine the inner elbow creases slightly forwards, draw the shoulders down and away from the ears, and tuck your ribcage up. Inhale deeply. Exhale, reach opposite arm, opposite leg, away from one another, just tracing a line along the mat. Inhale, come back. Other side. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, opposite arm, opposite leg in opposing directions. Inhale, come back. Good job. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Nice and simple. Inhale. Now you might feel comfortable to begin to lift the leg up. We lower down, we trace a line back. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Well done. You might feel comfortable to take it a step further by going straight up on the inhale. You might then exhale, crunch, inhale, reach, exhale, down. So I'll do that again. Inhale, reach, exhale, crunch, inhale, reach, exhale, lower. We reach away with a straight spine and we crunch with a straight spine. Reach away, leg comes back down. You might need a moment at the base of each tabletop just to re-stabilize, really finding that foundation. Keeping the fingers spread wide, pressing forwards and down. Keeping the shin pressing backwards and down. Keeping the abdominals lifted. If you'd like to take it a step further, begin to round the spine as you crunch. So that will look like this. Inhale. Exhale, inhale, exhale. They are harder on the balance, so you might feel a little bit more wobbly than before. If that does happen, really focus on the lift of the abdominals as you round, and really focus on the pressing of the ground away as you draw in. Good job, guys. Inhale, reach, last one. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, reach, exhale, down. This time we send just the left leg back on its own. Well done. We deeply bend that left leg and imagine that you are trying to press the ceiling away, then lower. Press the ceiling away, lower. We have 10 of these before we take 15 pulses. Good job. 4, 5, you're halfway. Pressing the ceiling away whilst keeping your entire tabletop perfectly still. Good job. 3, 2, and this time we hold and we do mini pulses with 15. Good. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, Good. Other side. We lift and we pulse up and down. 1, 2, 1, 2. 5 to go. And we pulse for 15. Good job. It's all coming from the glutes and the hamstrings. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower that leg down. Good job. Sink into child's pose. And then when you're feeling ready, we're coming all the way down onto our tummy. Brilliant. So our movement here is going to be our leg kicks. We go 1, 2, 3. Nice and simple. 1, 2, 3. If you would like to take it a step further, then we add in a little upper body movement. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through that as we go. Make sure that you are alternating sides. When you're feeling ready, it's either exhale, exhale, inhale. Or exhale, exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, exhale, inhale. Exhale. Imagine someone pulls your wrist back, draws them back forwards, then lower. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is amazing for strengthening the entire back body, the hamstrings, the glutes, the calves, the lumbar spine, the upper spine. The whole back body is working here. We really want to think about keeping your chin tucked down as if you're holding a little satsuma there. We're trying not to let it roll away, and we're also trying not to squish it. We want to think about someone pulling your wrist back at this point here, so we're really lifting as much as you feel comfortable to. We want to keep the pelvis really driving into the floor, yet the abdominals are guided away from the ground. So the belly button is really pulling away from your mat here. Well done. Last 2. 1, 2, 3. Wherever you are, we're coming into a downwards dog as a stretch once you've finished your last 2 reps. So we tuck the toes, we come up into our downwards dog. Well done. When you're ready, our next movement is dropping off the knees. 1, 2. Nice and simple. So find yourself in a plank position. Take your time making your way there. Tuck your rib cage up, tailbone down, shoulder blades retract, lift the abdominals and drop one leg, then the other. Drop one leg, then the other. Good job. 1, 2. 1, 2. Lovely job, guys. You're pushing the ground away with your fingertips, with your toes. You're lifting the abdominals up. Good, really nice. Well done. 5, 4, Good job. Sink into child's pose. Okay, when we're feeling ready, we are going to make our way onto our side. And for our plans today, we are completely down on the ground, but we have our legs in more of a right angle forwards. So your hips from a bird's eye view are aligned with your knees. Your feet are out in front and you can be flexed or neutral. Hands come to the hips, lift the obliques away from the ground. So naturally we're likely to be a bit like this within the spine. So we lift the abdominals, retract shoulder blades, tuck down the rib cage, and when we're ready, options are option 1 or option 2. Nice and simple. In option 2, you might think about clicking the heels rather than having the feet flushed, like so, or like so. Completely up to you. The latter just very slightly targets the glutes that bit more, as does having the knees parallel with the hips. So in this movement, we're just very slightly targeting through the glutes as opposed to that overarching abductor focus in our usual plans. Good job, guys, really nice. Hopefully you can begin to feel it. It's quite a slow burner, this one, so it doesn't come on too quickly, and it should start to feel quite warm, quite switched on. Good, really nice. 3, 2, 1, and drop that leg. Scooch that base leg so that the tailbone is aligned with your, the sole of your foot is aligned with your tailbone. Send that top leg long, and we're going to draw circles. Again, about the size of a dinner plate or a Pilates ball. You're going to lift that foot forwards and up, and then flex that foot backwards and down. Point forwards and up, flex backwards and down. Now, a difficult part of this movement is firstly keeping the obliques lifted. You'd quite like to be able to put your hand under and feel the muscles active and drawing away from the ground. There doesn't have to be a gap there, but we have to feel the muscles pulling away. Well done. We can put the hand on the hip for a bit of feedback from if we're wobbling, for example. Often as we draw the leg forward, the hip might either fall with it or overcompensate in the other direction. So just be mindful of that. We'd like it to be perfectly stacked over the other hip the whole time. The pointing forwards and the flexing backwards allows us to recruit a few tiny muscle fibers that might not be engaged if we just had a neutral foot. And it also helps us to activate the glutes that little bit more, especially as we flex that foot on the way back down. Last 2. Last 1. Take that leg forwards into a deep bend. Inhale deeply. You might feel a little dissipation of that tension that's built up there. And then when you're feeling ready, we are swapping sides. Coming down onto our forearm and our bicep, drawing the shin parallel to the wall in front of you. Lift through the obliques, lift through the abdominals, and lift through the pelvic floor. Your shoulders and your hips are both stacked, and we can either take our clams like so, or like so. In the second option, we have the ability to click the heels to focus that little bit more of a pinpoint focus on the glutes. Or you can relax the feet against one another, completely flush through the soles of the feet, like so. Exhale, inhale. Nice job. Lovely. Really think about that lift here we can imagine that we're wearing a nice tight belt. Good job. Watching that top arm as well. If it is on the floor, just make sure that your shoulders aren't peeling forward. If it's on the hip, make sure your shoulders aren't falling backwards. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Drop the legs. Drop that sole of the foot so that it aligns with the tailbone, and then send your top leg long. You're straight through the body here, so we're not relaxed down in this way, and we're also not curling forwards to see the body. Often there's a curiosity to see what the leg's doing, so we're just using our awareness of our leg here rather than having to see it. So from here, we draw forwards and up with a pointed foot, and then we flex backwards and down, point forwards and up, flex backwards and down. Great job. Really nice. Pay attention to the pelvis. Really good. Allow yourself, as you lift, to make sure that it's the muscle working rather than momentum, rather than the hip shining up. So if the pelvis is like this, you will be able to get a lot of height, whereas if the pelvis is squared off, you probably won't be able to get that much height. But everyone is different, especially in the range of motion in the pelvis. Last 2. Last 1. And draw that leg forwards, stretching out through the hip here. You should feel a gentle dissipation of that intensity. Well done. Inhale. Good. And then coming onto your fronts. So from here, we're going to go into our next movement. We do inhale, reach, exhale, lower, inhale, reach, exhale, back, reach, lower, reach, back. 1, 2, 1, 2. Nice and simple. This should feel quite nice after the movements that we've just done. Activating through the glutes, through the hamstrings, pushing the floor away. Think about fingers spreading wide, shins pressing down, rib cage tucking up. Listen to the body here. If it feels a little bit much on the glutes, then feel free to just do the arms or just do the legs. We have just 2 more on each side. We point as we lower, flex as we lift, point as we lower, flex as we lift. Good. And then when you're ready, we are coming onto our backs. So, this movement here, we're going to be in a reverse tabletop. It's quite challenging on the back body. So I'm going to give you a quick demonstration as we have 2 options here. Option 1, scoop up, scoop back down. Nice and simple. Option 2, scoop forwards and up, extend one leg, bend that leg, scoop down. Okay? So 1 is really focused on the stability. If you have sensitive shoulders, do this exact same thing, but in a bridge, which will look more like this. Okay? When we're ready, hands come behind us, fingers face in. Your feet are around a foot distance and a half out in front. Your hands are around half a hand's distance behind the pelvis. We scoop forwards and up with the pelvis as if you're scooping a piece of ice cream. And then we lower down. Nice and simple. Exhale. Inhale. If we're in option 2, we exhale forwards and up. We extend the leg. We bend the leg. We lower down. So it's lift, point, flex, lower. Your thighs stay aligned. Now the really difficult part in option 2 is not wobbling side to side. So if you do find that you're wobbling side to side, you might swap out that leg extension for just a heel raise for today, which would look more like this. And that's if you'd like to build up to option 2, nice and slowly. But if you do feel comfortable to take it that step further today, extend fully, bend, lower down. It's a great way of strengthening the back body. Keep the abs lifted. Really think about squeezing that quad as you send forwards. Well done, one more. Good. And lower down. Inhale deeply here. Send both legs up towards the sky. Gently rotate through the thighs so that your soles of your feet shine towards one another. Hands come towards the temples and we lift. Option 1 here, you're drawing 2 semicircles around one another. 1, 2, 1, 2. Nice and simple. Option 2, you're drawing 1 circle with the legs together. You draw it anti-clockwise, then clockwise. Rotating in one direction, then alternating to draw in the other direction. When you're ready, we either have legs stacked above the hips, ballerina crisscross. Exhale, exhale, inhale, inhale. Or we have our double leg circles. You choose how big or how small that circle may be. We really want to focus on the imprint, and we want it to be a double imprint. So it's not just the spine pressing down, but the abs bulging up. It's not just the abs pressing down, but the spine arching away. It's both the spine being pressed to the floor, abdominals being drawn back towards the spine, locking it down by keeping the rib cage tucked down here, keeping the tailbone scooping away from the floor. And that's how we keep our imprint. Good job, guys. Keep it up. Nice. Take it at your own speed. Make the movement your own. Don't push yourself past the point in which you feel comfortable to. We always want it to be within range. A range in which we can keep the abdominals, keep the pelvic floor, and keep the obliques all wrapped in, tucked up, lifted and engaged, whilst still keeping control, keeping precision, keeping our Pilates principles in check. Last 2. Good. Last one, hug your legs in. Well done. So we're coming into some stretches here. Send your right leg long and hug your left leg up towards you. Breathe in deeply. And then send that leg over towards the right side of the room. And other side, right leg comes up towards you, left leg sends long. And then guide that right leg over towards the left side of the room. And then come back through center, making your way up into a comfortable seated position, taking your hands into a twist. Other side. Taking your hands into a crescent moon. And other side. Well done, you are all done. Good job.